Hey Beth, welcome. Hi Katie. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you all are here. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes to get started. Hello, welcome. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes for people to get started, for people to find their way here. Hello, how are you doing today? Hi Jess, welcome. Oop, sorry if my drink was clinking. So excited. I'm so excited too. This was so good. I loved this. I love this. So I'm excited to talk about this. Wait a minute or two before really jumping in. Hello. Please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from, your name, or anything else. We're going to talk about Triss's book for the first part of this and then open it up to all things Tamora Pierce. Welcome! Hi all! Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to try to keep up in the chat. Again, this is my second live ever, and I also have not been doing TikTok very long, and so there are a lot of features and things that I'm still learning and trying to understand. Oh, signing in from work from Austin. Love it! Oh, Texas! Perfect. Triss is such a baddie. I can't wait to talk about her. So we're going to talk some Triss, and then we'll talk anything Tamora Pierce. I have some outlines. First live you've ever tuned in. That's fantastic. I'm so happy. This is my second live I've ever done or really been a part of. It was suggested by several people, and last time went so well. We had almost 500 people tune in last time, and the average time that they stayed was well over a minute, which I think is really good. Thank you, Christine. Oh, Triss is the powerhouse of the four. Okay. Oh, you're still on your trip. I hope you have a wonderful trip, and I'm so happy that you were able to stop in for even just a little bit and to say hi. I would love to keep doing these. The last time was so much fun. Again, almost 500 of you tuned in, and I thought we had some really good conversation going. And so I think without any further ado, there are about 16 of you here. That's fantastic. Oh, Will of the Empress, I've heard is really good, so I'm excited for that one too. Admit you're here for the whole book. I love it. Okay. I really think that your comment about loving them differently, that's what I am getting with these. I'm starting to understand the pattern that Tamora Pierce is writing. I understand the Tortal patterns really well because I've read them so many times, but when I first started reading these, I was a little frustrated that they weren't more focused on the individual characters themselves, but I'm really seeing the pattern in her writing now, and by the end of Triss's book, I was completely and totally sold on Circle of Magic and the way that she's writing them and the way that the characters are building and intertwining with each other. And so I'm loving them differently. I'm loving them differently so far. And Triss's book really showed that. I think one thing that really drew me to this, even right up front, so I finally have a system for the reread. Everybody's a different character, and then there's one color that is specifically for like a catch-all everything. And so it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to go through. And so I think to pull out something we talked about last week were all the different characters and how Triss was a phenomenal character. I love this first line that we have about, like, Triss loves storms. She took clear skies as a personal insult. I thought that said so much about her character. It was just really, really a clever way to depict that. And so right off the bat, I was sold with this book. But let's see, for this, I have a couple of things I wanted to pull out and I wanted your opinions on. A couple of things we talked about last week first that I thought were just deeper, one of them being Sandry. We really saw her step more into her friendship in this, and I really enjoyed that. Triss has amazing lines of perspective throughout this series. I hope so. I really am seeing that. This line that she talks about the she assumed that their magics were smaller because they had centered around such ordinary things. Maybe she needed to think again. I thought that kind of reframed magic as a whole through her perspective and really situated herself with everybody else's magic too. And I think it spoke to many of the main themes that we have. Let's see. Do we have favorites? Yes, please share your favorite lines from Triss. Even if I have not read them yet, if they don't do too many spoilers, then I would love to have any lines that you can think of from it. Stuck in her merchant ways with the petticoats. One of my notes in here is just wondering if we're going to have a Dane moment with her in breeches, where she wants to get in some breeches, but I also kind of loved her doubling down on the skirts. But it is something I would love to see come full circle with her. And welcome everybody who's here. There's so many of you here. I'm so excited to see you all. We had such a great time last week. We'll put a pause on Circle of Magic for a minute. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Just to let you know, we're going to talk Circle of Magic, specifically Triss's book, for a little while, about half the time, and then the second half we're going to open it up to all things Tamora Pierce. And so we hope you'll stick around. Right now, we're talking about Triss's character and some of the good lines that she has. I really like her character arc overall in this, especially towards the end when she's talking with Nico about learning how to... She needs control. I think that was something we saw last week, but we really see it this week. There's even a part where she points at Briar, and he's like, "That's a weapon. Please don't." And I thought that was very Nesta, Sarah J. Maas connected. I saw that like scene flash from my head. Let me see what's been happening in this chat. Hello, everyone. Almost 30 people. Oh, Frostbine's quote along the lines of, "I must have had all the flaws to offset my excellence." Yes! Such great banter. I really liked Frostbine and Daja, but that really steps into one thing I have a question about for everyone, and that's around this idea of magic and power, and shared magic and shared power and consent. I thought it was really weird how nonchalant everyone is about the fact that we can now mentally talk to each other, magically talk to each other, see different things. We can kind of share magic or understand each other's magic, and everyone seems so chill. And I don't understand why we're so just okay with this, or like, we'll push this training off for later, because clearly they need it. I also love how they're getting to know each other as siblings. They're still squabbling, they are still fighting. They are developing that deeper appreciation for each other. I thought we saw that a lot with like the fights that they picked in Sandry's book, and we're seeing a lot more of it now. Hello, welcome. I think it's one emergency or another. In the first two books, that's true. Okay, not a lot of time to study or figure out their magic. That is, everybody seems to just keep pushing off their magic lessons. And there was a lot going on. I ended up kind of stopped taking notes after chapter 9 because I was so sucked in. And everything that just happened right after each other drew me in, and I had a hard time. I just got so sucked into the story, I forgot taking notes. They don't know what the magic is supposed to do, so it gives them creative freedom. That's a very cool element of it. I'm glad you brought that up. Mixed with their faith their teachers have in them. They're really exploring and pushing their boundaries. But I also think that's part of, there's some like teacher negligence happening. There are a lot of consequences that they face that I think if they were better prepared to start with, they wouldn't face them. I'm thinking of Daja in particular. I thought it was weird that she was warned when she went with Frostbite. Not Frostbite. But when she went with Frostpine, not Frostbite. When she went with Frostpine, he warned her a lot about the pirates, but he didn't really warn her about the toll that sharing magic would take. and how that ended up being the most dangerous part. And so this goes back to my question about like power and consent, especially when there's a huge difference in power between the teachers and each other. So I'm curious, really curious what other people have to say about the shared nature of magic and power, and particularly around consent, because I don't see it as clearly as we do in the Tortall novels. Frostbite works with fire, yeah. Oh, listening to the audiobook. I started the audiobook too, Jeremy, just to make sure that I could pronounce things well, and I love it. They each have their own mentors. Yes, and sometimes the group teaching. I really like that too. Okay, good. So book 3, Daja's book, they really get more into the shared power. Fantastic. Because I'm really curious about it. It makes me think, last week I drew an avatar, this week it's going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think a lot about just that shared power, shared potential. And I can't wait to see where it goes, but I'm kind of surprised they're not making a bigger deal out of it. This is great. I love everyone so engaged. Oh, you may have read ahead. Okay, I need to read it ahead as well. Okay. Frostpine's backstory is, yeah. Okay. I don't think I know Frostpine's backstory yet. Yes. I also feel like they are glossing over the lessons, Katie, but there are important things happening. And the Buffy references. Good. Okay, so we'll learn more about Frostpine in the next book. I've been really excited for Daja's book because she's so reserved as a character, and I understand those pieces of it, but I want more from her point of view. I want to know more about her inner world. Oh, good. Okay, fantastic. Hey, y'all, welcome. If you are just joining, we're doing, first half is going to be talking about Triss's book and Circle of Magic, and the second half we're going to open it up to all of Tortall. One thing I do want to talk about, I have so many things to talk about, so please type away, and if I jump past you, I'll come back. I'm so glad you drew this series. Welcome. Okay, we're getting hyped for Daja's book. This is important. One thing I do want to bring up is the map situation. So I was very pleased with Sandry's book and this map, very pleased with it. It's not often you get a legend these days, in addition to having a compass rose and everything so beautifully labeled. So this, I loved it. Love the fact that it's on the front and the back. But then for Triss's book, we have a new map. We're zooming in. And it is beautiful. I love it. We don't have a legend. Sad face. But we do get scale. And so few modern day fantasy maps that I see here have a scale. So I'm over here with my fingers and my knuckles figuring out how far away things are when they are running around. My one big complaint, where is the cottage? I need a home base. I know we have the Winding Circle Temple is right here, but I need a dot. I need something that lets me know where home base is. Where are we going to keep coming back? That's my one big complaint with this map. Yeah, zoomed in on the map. Oh, I'm so excited for Daja's book. These are good maps. Oh, you've read the rest of the series too? That's so good. I think that's such a good challenge, pulling it out of the jar. Thank you all. So the cottage is in north near the temple, close to the Earth Temple. But where? None of that's labeled on here. I want like a haven from Lady Night. They do a really simple map of Haven when Kel's in charge, and I loved it. I refer to it all the time. And I want that for this. Or at least Just at least a dot. At least a little dot that I could keep coming back to. I love the Haven map. It's so good. And I will say, so I have peeked ahead just a little bit. So I could look at the map for Daja's book, and it's totally different. Totally different. So my guess is we are going to go somewhere else for Daja's book. And I don't mind this one not having a legend because everything is beautifully labeled. Village, village. Beautifully labeled. Absolutely love it, but there's no scale. Oh, there is a scale. Yeah, I was going to say. We can have it all in a map. We can have it all. So I'm so excited for this. Field trip! Wonderful. We're going to have a field trip with this book. Perfect. Perfect. Protector of the Small reference. Yes. I mean, it's going to cross over. Yes. Please include, if you're writing a book and you have a fantasy map, I love maps. So much so my dog's name is Atlas after a book of maps. And please put a scale if you can. A legend. I think one of the reasons why this map is so beautiful is because it has a good mixture of different textures, if that's the right word, and fun designs, the birds. And I think that's a pretty consistent one across the maps. So do some fun stuff. Spoilers. All right, that's fine. But a field trip. I expected a field trip with this map. Do y'all know how I struggle to tell how long a party should be traveling? Writing is one of those things. It's up here and it so rarely makes it down into my fingers. But I think about the Lord of the Rings a lot when I think about time and space. Tamora Pierce does a really good job of figuring out how long things should be. I thought Lady Night did that really well. But this is a conversation for the second half. We're coming back to Triss. So rereading all the Circle books. You pause after reading the fourth. Okay. I know Briar's book, I need to go on an adventure to find. There are a couple of thrift stores that say they have it in like an hour radius of me. So I'm going to go on an adventure to try to find Briar's book. Crossovers on AO3. Yes. I haven't... anything that's Emelon, I have not looked into it all because I'm worried about spoilers of any sort. So I haven't done fan art. I haven't done fan fiction yet, but crossovers, that just brings a whole new level to everything. I'm very excited for it. We'll see. I want to devour all of these. So many good crossovers. Yes, please drop the fanfics in the chat for everyone. We can all share. Hello. Oh, the circle of lumpy thread. I posted something a little while ago about the gods and wanting the badger claw from Dane. Did anyone do the lumpy thread circles? Like the actual circle of magic? Because I love every time it is brought up, even offhandedly. A Discord. What an interesting idea. I think I am learning about the internet. How to make it. Yes, crochet, beads, great ideas. Or just learning how to, like, the spin. I love how it was an accident that they're the lumps and they're all connected. I think it's a really powerful object, like when you're writing and you need to distill an idea or a theme and have it represented in an object, like the One Ring, or I would argue like Buffy's scythe or the class protector umbrella. You can do that really well with an individual item, and the lumpy thread, the 4 chunks on the thread are it for me for this one. This was so good. I have other questions. Let's see. Does anyone have other questions about me for this book while I look at some of my notes? Because there was so much here. I'm in for a Discord. Okay, I would love... I don't know how to function online like this. I am learning. And so I would love to do a Discord. I would also love... I've been thinking about other ways to do more longer form content or have other ways that we can interact deeper. Because as much as I love chat like this, I would love to be able to interact with everyone on a deeper level and have it more of a back and forth. And so, if you, Amiri-chan, please just send me a DM or message. My email is also out there, and let's get together. I'm all about a Discord. I don't know how to do it. And so, please. Because I would love recommendations for things. Let's see. Fable app. Okay. Ooh, a meetup would be phenomenal. Okay. We'll connect on that. Shooting water spouts. Thoughts on Triss on the wall of shooting water spouts. Okay. Loved that scene. There were two things. I really liked the two big battles. I really liked the Briar Rosethorn. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But the Triss water spout, this scene right here, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Tammy knows how to write rage. She knows how to write rage and really productive, not necessarily productive, but just empowering rage. She doesn't shy away from it. She doesn't think it needs to be tucked under a rug. And so I have one of the lines that I pulled out is Triss doing it. This is for my Starling Stead's parents. Like, for Shriek's parents. She cares about the big things, the carpenters. This is for the soldiers who like dogs. This is for I think Triss cares so much more than she lets herself. She cares so deeply. So I'd love to hear what other people... Emmy, okay. Emmy. I will try to work on that. Triss, this great power versus great responsibility arc is yes. And she really learns. Feminine rage. I would say, I think it's a particular... I see the dichotomy, especially, you really see a dichotomy in genders because we also have this moment earlier with Briar. And so Briar has a whole scene where he fuels the magic and everyone else's magic with his hate and encourages everyone to hate. And I loved that. I loved when he said, like, he decided Rosethorn didn't hate enough. And then when we see it with Triss, it's a very clear cause and effect. There's a clear stream. She should be angry. And I don't know if it's any more feminine or masculine. I'd be curious what other people think. Let's see. Love how they're not perfect yet. And the water sprout really represents Triss. Yes. Absolutely. Reconnection with the family. What is it with Tammy and cousins? As soon as Amory came in, I was like, suspicious. I don't like it. And all I could think of was Roger. And so in my head, I was like, Tammy, it's not a thing. But it was, and I was right, and I even have it in my notes early on. I was like, I don't trust the cousin. And then later on, I was like, Briar knows. So it was good. It was good. That's a huge one, is just the family connection. Because I think Triss was not only mourning losing Amory, she was mourning losing that identity. I think we see something similar with Daja in Sandry's book, where she takes off her mourning clothes and she says goodbye to that former life. I think this is a similar moment for Triss. Youth and their gaps in magical knowledge. That's a huge one too. I would love to see more training. Nico, I think he's a very busy man, but if he is too busy to be training people, then maybe he shouldn't have some underlings. I would like more training arcs. It is such a nuanced journey. Okay, food can be both earth and fire with Gordo. Ooh, that's good. I want more of him. And more food magic. I want to... One of the questions I was asked last week was around if you had one of these like more ordinary magics, what would it be? And I would love to see more different kinds of them throughout. I think the food one would be really interesting to dump into. Let's see, she spent so long being abandoned by her family. She just wanted to belong. She does. I feel such pity and sympathy and connection towards Triss because of those things. Like she really does want to just fit in, and I think she has such armor around her, and very defensive, and the way she approaches life is just, everything is trying to attack her. I think she assumes the worst in everything. And so I'm really curious to see how that changes and how her trust changes. Oh, we get into food magic later on. Yes, I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. I love how there are so many comments. I'm catching up. Let's see. Fantastic. The cousin is just... it's just... I think it's a both and with the cousin. I think it was written a little sus, especially because I started listening to it as well, just to try to get a different perspective. And it is. Like, the hints are there. Tammy does a really good job. Yeah, Triss is such a complex character, and with her family... Love more training for the quartet and more stories of mischief. I think there are so many just like fun one-off stories that could happen with the setup. I would love to have a student from the university or a student with the more common types of magic as kind of a foil, or not even a foil, but just as a counterpoint to their magic, to be able to see their magic in connection with everything else. Yeah, those small magics do line up mostly with domestic labor tasks. Funny how that works. Funny. Commentary on something. What could she be talking about? Mourning the possibility of blood family. Yes. Lessens her confidence as a person. I completely agree with that. Oh, this is great. Triss is very prickly. That's a good word for Triss. I think she does care deeply. I can't wait to see some of these walls come down and her to start trusting. And she has. People assume the worst for her. And I think another piece of it is that nobody explained these things to her. I think power is hard to have and to deal with. And if you're in environments where you're told to put it away, or even worse, that you don't have any, I think you see one type of consequence with that when it comes to Triss. Yes, the stereotypical prickly, angry redhead. I mean, but we have a Lana too. Love her. Yep, exactly. See, I think that Tamora does a really good job of taking tropes and reeling you in just enough and then flipping it. Time gaps really threw me. Okay, so I should expect some time gaps. So that's good. I can't wait for them to grow up a little bit. I have to keep reminding myself that they're really young. That they're really, really still young in these. You have to earn Triss's trust. That's so true. And I think there are a couple of points where people do try. One of the moments that made me just kick my legs and squeal, because I do that I love friendship is all about it. But when Triss really loses it, when she finds out her cousin is dead, and not even Nico wants to come to her. He's too afraid. And it says explicitly, let me see if I can find it. Sandry was just as afraid as anyone else. Triss was scary now. She was also in pain. Afraid or not, Sandry couldn't let that continue. And so I love these moments where everybody's just kind of shining through a little bit. These loyal protectors. I think they're 11. Right. Like, they're so young. So young. Love to have more character depth. The Light Bridge books, okay. These are great. when Sandry walks over, and yes, that was one of the moments, and she put herself, she was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but that idea of like the magic seeing each other, I really liked it. What do you all think of the name Shriek for the bird? The bird was another huge part of this, and it made me really think about Griffin from Protector of the Small, and how it was almost like a prototype for Griffin. And I can't wait to see how Shriek keeps going. Okay, the first one, like half a year. Okay. I appreciate the warning on time jumps. Yeah, the earthquake. A lot of things got messed up with that earthquake. And the lessons. Shriek is amazing. Okay. I also love the name. I'm working on one of the videos I'm working on are about all of the animals. And I really liked Shriek. I love the name. I thought it was so clever. And Griffin, yeah. We love any Protector of the Small mention. They were, okay, so really realistic about nursing the baby bird. Yes, I thought that they handled it really well. I mean, the bird was being fed every 15 minutes. Shriek is very fitting. I absolutely loved it. We could do a whole one on just the animals. I have a whole list, and I keep forgetting how many animals there are throughout both series, and then even like with Tortal, when you break it down with Immortals too, when you have, there's a lot of them. Let's see, we're about halfway-ish from what I expected. I'm always willing to go longer, but I know people have lives, and I would love to keep talking about this. There are a couple of, let's see, other things for Triss's book we want to bring up. Triss's character, shared power was a huge one for me. It feels like a big deal. Feels like a big deal. Is the shared power baby bird. I liked that Sandry wanted a larger nose at the beginning when they mentioned that like her nose wasn't large enough yet to be bossy. She pulled on it. I thought that was different than what we get from a lot of characters. Oh, I don't want to know I do not want to know the answer to this, but I do have the question, will someone work blood magic? And I don't want to know the answer, but it's one of those things I've been thinking a lot about. Let's see. Triss thinks the worst of everyone's. Oh, loved the way that the death and gods are greeted by each culture. That's something I really want to look into more deeply. I really like Daja has a line about Odie, the bookkeeper, and credit. And so I want to think more deeply about how death and mourning are presented in all of these. Yeah. And also Triss welding. So cool. So cool. All right, and what other things for Triss before we jump to all things Tamora Pierce? Pounds, of course, pounds. Demi has rehabbed so many animals, and she's done so much research on it. Like for their wolf speakers, she did over a year of research, of like very intense research about wolves. Triss and Chime, okay. I don't know Chime, but I'm excited for it. Life, no. Work on the fic. Love it. Fantastic. Even with the shared power, how do you feel about the sheer might of Triss's power? I think that we are only at the surface of Triss's power, but I kind of feel that way about everybody because there's so much power overlapping and we see flashes of it. And so, like Sandry talking about how she thinks Briar might be able to control cotton because it comes from plants. I think there are a lot of these moments where we haven't quite yet locked together, but we will. And so Triss's power, I think, is just one of those ones that are just overwhelming with force when you first think about it. But I'm excited to see how it shows up in the creative ways in which it shows up. Like the welding thing, that was cool. And Briar, the way that he was able to like fuel everything with hate, loved that. But the sheer force of her, I think we'll only really see when she understands the true force of herself. She really is afraid of her own power. Yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense because I think she's afraid of herself too. Sandry's been in a very privileged environment, and you can see that in her character. And Triss, she's had to fight and work for a lot. This starts out with her talking about how she's had to do her own dishes for a long time. Good. And they keep their individual cultures so well. That's fantastic to hear. Okay. Triss is such a skill for immediate change. Love the contrast with her not wanting that. I agree. I thought there was she listens to consequences. I really liked her speech towards the end to Nico about how she really needed to. She doesn't want this to happen again. She's haunted by it. Really love how the relationship with the gods is in both of these series. I am learning to love it too. I want more. It seems like there are a lot of more specific gods in Circle of Magic than there are in Tortall. I almost want like a pantheon just to explain it all, because we have ones for like air and birds, the bookkeepers. It's very, very cool. Everyone's so creative was the sound. Yes, the best part of it is they're ready to throw down for each other. They are. No questions asked. They are ready to go. I was really not shocked, but they earn it. They really earn it. They earn their bond together. Their arcs so far have been really satisfying to me too. I'm so excited for the next book club. Force Out of Control. Yes, next book club is going to be Daja's book. Let's see. Learning control limits. Multiple faiths. I can't wait for them to dive into that a little bit more. The traitor faith. Okay, living circle faith. Their writer dies. The violence in the book, was I surprised by the violence in the book is the question, and yes and no. I think the tone was really set with Sandry's book. I was surprised when it started out with such dark themes, and then got like a cozy, we're all gonna learn some magic, and there's natural disaster. But there's a lot of death in this book, and it's not a gory violence, but it's a present violence, and I think if I was feeling the vibe, especially towards the end with Triss's, each of the characters are going to have to wrestle with the violence that their power brings into the world in a different way. And so this ends with Triss talking about nightmares of drowned slaves, and how she never wants that to happen again. And I think it can be a motivator. I think violence is written with a purpose in these. I'm curious what other people think. Okay, violence in the book. Yeah. So the cousin you were shocked. Yeah, when the cousin was, he couldn't live. In my brain, he just couldn't live. The cousin couldn't live. He had to go. I didn't know who was going to do it, but somebody had to go. Triss, yes. Jeremy found it important how Triss reacts to the lives she ends up taking. I would expect nothing less from Tammy. Yeah, Sandry's book does start with just waves of death. I was not prepared. It was almost giving like Allie's book. I thought that was a departure from the way that violence was written. And I think there's a difference between violence that somebody enacts upon others in mass, and then violence that's enacted upon your main character as well, and how they experience it. Yeah, that implied violence. Tammy never shies away from death. Yeah. Like Briar talking about Triss has never seen people ripped apart, or like how he knows the sound. Briar knows the sound of somebody dying when they're stabbed. Yes. They're all written so interestingly. Yeah, particularly as you mentioned for middle grade. Our favorite books. Yeah, the books where the kids, teens, they're all over the place. You can find these books in so many different sections. When you go to a used bookstore, make sure you check all of them. I feel like she's respectful with the violence too, and with death. When she follows the power out to the ships, there's good. I really would love to do a deeper dive into death overall, particularly in all of the books. When I did the video about my favorite gods and goddesses, one of the ones people brought up a lot that I should have included was death in Mastiff. And it really got me thinking about all of the ways that it's portrayed and the lessons that we learn from it too. And she doesn't shy away. Your library has them in middle grade. Yeah, they are for older middle grade. I think that I hope that they're a series that you can grow with too. So the first quartet can be read younger, and then as they grow, the readers can grow too. These books in particular have a theme around death. Okay. When it teaches kids. I agree. Death being colorful was such a glorious description. Okay, last call on anything specifically Triss's book before we jump into all things Tammy. And we are talking a little bit about it with the death conversation. Fabulous. Awesome. Well, I'm going to open it up to all things Tammy at this point, especially since there's such a need. I think that was really clear from last live, was that we all have so much to say about all of her books, and so to keep it laser focused on Circle of Magic, particularly when I have still so much of it left, was not as fun as it could be. So I would love to hear if anybody has anything particular that they want to bring up, but I have a question for all of you, and that is, if you were to describe any of the characters that Tammy has written, what emojis would you use? This is something that would really help me when I'm making content for all of this, because there are a lot of different emojis that I think pair well with certain characters and other ones that I'm on the line with. So I just curious, what emojis go with what characters? Oh, Empress of Will is definitely an adult book. Okay. That's good. Good to know. And that's when the dedicates start taking more notice of Triss's power. I don't know how these people don't take more notice of their power anyway. There have been so many times where everybody's just shown them up over and over and over again. I don't know why there's a question. They're mega powerful. Lightning, wind, storms, yeah. Yes, the standard, I agree. The swords are a standard. Use it for so much. But there's not a lot of swordcraft in this. In Circle of Magic. So I don't feel like the swords would work as emojis for Circle of Magic. Legends before they're adults. I agree. I also think I'm going to do a full Tortall reread. I don't even know if I'm going to wait until I'm done with the Emelon. I think I might try to reread chronologically, because I've never read the Tortall series starting with Becca's books. And I think it would be a really interesting experience. Becca's, yes, okay. Will of the Empress is adult. Still YA, upper YA. Okay, wow, even upper YA. I'm excited to get to all of that. Oh, I love, the Blue Heart is a good one. That's a good one. I usually go for purple things for Alana. Kel, okay. I love these. I appreciate all of these. Oh, yes, the lightning bolt and the thread. Perfect, Minolin. Oh, yes, with the owl. Yes, good. These are all so helpful. And I'm able to look back later. And so any of that you think of throughout all of this, please drop it in the chat. Okay, everybody's Everybody's working on these. Okay. Yes, get the Tortal books. That is... Please post the exact order. Okay, we can make that happen. I think I am going to do the reread, but I'm not sure. Oh, like where I would put Numera's books? I don't know, because that will be... I think the next book in the Numera series is coming out this summer. And so no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to drop everything and reread Tempest and Slaughter and then read the second one. So I can't guarantee a particular place for Numera's books. Love to do, but I would love to do Becca's too, because Becca's books are ones that I really want to read in community with other people. The style is totally different. The time is different, and there are a lot of themes that I would love to have other people to talk to when we're doing a reread. Becca next? Yes. Okay. So we'll just plan. We'll just everybody mark your calendars. You're busy on Wednesdays because we're going to we're going to enjoy our journey through Circle of Magic, and then we'll do a chronological reread of Tortal, because I need to talk to somebody about my favorite things in the whole world. So we'll do that. We'll do it in chronological order. So everyone has time. Okay. A lot of talking to herself in her head. Yes. I also felt like Becca's series just... nobody journals like that. And it kind of took me out of it. But I would love to have another read through. Okay. So put Numera's like before Alana, but after Becca. Yeah. Yeah. Tunstall. Tunstall is a minefield. I completely agree. Love Becca Cooper. Okay. I need more of this Becca Cooper hype. She is not on my annual reread. Usually I do her like every 3 or 4 years. I'll reread her books. And so I love people hyping up her story more. Yes, by the farmer. Yes. I actually like Numera's books. I know some people called it just like straight fan service, but I'm okay with that. Roger better show up next book. I completely agree. Ooh, those are good emojis. Oh, the audio. Maybe I'll try the audiobooks with it, because I think one of the barriers that I run into with Becca's books is, first of all, reading them not like at the end of my Tortal read, and then the language barrier. Like, just there's such different language in it. The audio, yeah, I think I will do the audiobooks. Good as a listen. The number of times I was flipping to the glossary, like, what is the Moxie? What is this? Okay. The pragmatic protagonist. I really like the way that you put that, of like liking the pragmatic protagonist of Kel, Becca, and Briar. Yes. Okay. Yes, check the books out from the library, go to a thrift store. The food interior. I do remember that being quite a theme. And it made sense, though. And the Circle books are full cast. Yes, the Circle audiobooks I've started, they feel so 90s to 2000s with the different sound effects. I loved them. They're so good. Open page in front of you, yes. Historical stuff. I love the historical piece of it too. I really liked it, and I think I did like them. I just don't reread them as often, and I find every time I'm reading them, I wish the other series was thick. Why weren't Cold Fire and Shatterglass never recorded? These books are not in print at the moment either. Petition to bring them back. Death heavy and beautiful in its own way. And Katie, I agree with you for Becca's story. I really, really liked the way that death was approached. Everything from the pigeons to death showing up. Death and religion, yes. They show up over and over again in these books. So we'll do the reread. I've been doing, we are on part 2 of the live, Xander. Yes. Bring anything. Tamora Pierce, bring it on in. The spinners, I love the spinners. We have a spinner that basically lives right in front of my garage when it gets really windy, and I have brought some dirt just to drop it in there. You never know. Listen to Becca's books on the long drive. Nice. Yeah, maybe I will. I'll do the Becca's book and a read. The first part, I agree. It was just so different. And I love it when authors take risks. I love it when Tammy takes risks. I think it really paid off overall. So we'll do a reread of those two. And we can talk about those things. Yeah. Tunstall was absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. So we'll give those another read. I love people hyping them up because it's not that I need it. I'll happily reread them. They're not my top tier. I would love to return from my little spinner. Usually it's leaves. My spinner really likes leaves, and we're in that season right now where there are a bunch of crepe myrtle trees everywhere, and they're dropping flowers. And so my spinner loves flowers. Oh, Sabine, one of the questions I was asked last week was around what short stories, if they're side characters or that you would want short stories about. Sabine is definitely one of them, Sabine, and all of the Lady Knights from yesteryear. I want the book that I think it's Cal is given about Lady Knights from, was it Neil? From the past. I want that book. Like, would somebody just write that book about the famous Lady Knights, please? Oh, I completely agree with the Tunstall word. Toby doesn't get enough love. He's only in one book, but an incredible side character. Toby absolutely deserves short stories. Becca did Bloodhound. Yes, and she would bring the spinners new dirt to taste. I thought that was such a cool, unique way to interact with magic in the world. And I wish that it showed up in the other books as well. I was like, you're bringing me this cool, fun thing. Did we forget how to talk to spinners? Let's see, I'm going to catch up on this. Oh, Queen's Rider story. Yes. Oh, the best, to rank the best Tamora Pierce justified rage moments. Emperor Mage, of course, takes right up there. Emperor Mage, yes. I think that Kel has a couple of moments too that aren't, she's just a lot better at keeping a lid on her emotions. But I think she has a lot of very, very justified reactions. In Protector of the Small, particularly in Lady Knight. Yes, Toby is totally Cal's unofficial side. I need more of him. I need epilogue. Toby. Go to the spot and just yell the first time. Yeah. My favorite trilogy. What is my? So I'm an Alana girl, through and through. Song of the Lioness Quartet. Found me when I was around 10 or 11 years old, and that's just who I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And then anything that I could get my hands on by Tamora Pierce. But the first two quartets in the Tortall trilogy, in the Tortall world, are they're my everything. They're like, I reread them at least every year. Sometimes I'll do a listen and a read. They're my absolute favorites. Toby's so great. Yes. Sabine loved, I know. Yes. Let's see. Peach Blossom would be a great one to get stories from. Like, I want some old war stories. Just finished Lady and I loved it. What are we? Let's see. Talking about animals earlier. Oh, a Chew is phenomenal. Absolutely love Chew. One of those, another perfectly named animal in Tammy's world. And Sabine, yes, so Tunstall was so misguided. Toby is so, I do. Oh, we have a fanfic about Kel that explores Toby much more. You should drop it in the chat. I mean, make sure we can all enjoy. More about all the horses and the knights. Yes, that'd be a great one. Spin-off for George's mom. Yes. Yes. Perfect. We have a little bit of her in Becca's when she first starts out, and you get just a little diary entry about how difficult George is being and how she hopes he doesn't end up as a thief. But I think so many more. Yes, that's a really, really good idea. Yes, Kel's when she sees an injustice is very enraged. Sandry and Will of the Empress as well. Okay. Stefan, the groomsman. Yes. How did he fall in with George? Yes. And I need his opinion about Alan. And about Dane too. I would love to have their. I wonder if he can see. We have a moment here and there with them, but I would love to see it from his perspective. Kel does have quiet rage. Kel, yes. Kel in the courtroom with Joran. Yes. One thing I'm doing I'm getting ready to film the favorite chapter from each of Kel's. And so I was going through, because I was like, it's hard to decide. And the chapter with Joran, I really made me think about the ways that Tammy shows justice and how many different ways she shows justice. She shows that there's more than one way to find justice. And in so many of fantasy novels, you don't get to see that courtroom scene and how complicated it can be. And so I think that one's a really, really good example too. And it shows up in a very different way. And the first time Kel successfully tilts, I think about all the time. And then I think she's told that like she's not supposed to like cry over it, or she wants to hold a funeral for her Lance, and then she gets another one and has to get it weighted. And then yes, in the second Briar book, okay, I can't wait for some of these. Like Sabine, yes, in the Becca Kruger, I would not want to cross her. Lasala, yes. Anytime Kel is protecting someone who doesn't have the same kind of power that she does, I'm not going toe to toe with her. Oh, good, Ray. I'm so glad about George's mom. I'm so excited. I think there's so many stories. Jordan was rage bait. It was a crime that he was breathing the same air as Kel. Oh, she beats up Vincent. I really like, so I recently, let me grab it. I recently got the graphic novel, and I liked it. I did like it overall, but it really reminded me I liked the way that it shows Kel building the following during the first test and confronting Jorn over and over and over again, like that lesson on chivalry. I thought it did pretty well. Oh, Emmy, you're phenomenal. Look at that. Got a Discord with the fanfic channel half built. Magic. Magic. What do we need that for? We have magic everywhere. One of the things I am pulling out of Circle of Magic right now is this idea that there's magic everywhere. And there's magic, like there's power everywhere if you want to look for it. And so I think that there's little moments of magic. So thank you. Set up a vision is good to go. And I will figure out how to do Discord. Rage at King Jonathan. Yes, because of the lack of justice. I thought it also showed Jonathan in a very different light. I was very saddened to see Jonathan not as perfect, but I thought it did a really good job of showing the constraints on even kingly power. Stefan does have generations of tea. So much tea about everyone. I also think I have this headcanon that he will let George know if somebody mistreats any of the animals, and if he can't necessarily be the person to deal with it, I think George finds a way. Perfect. There's the Discord link in the chat. I mean, you are amazing. Amazing. I'm so excited for this. So excited. Okay, we have the link. Kel was your role model for wanting to join the military when you were younger. I'm curious to hear about that. I thought, yes, was it like some of Kel's duty or the idea to protect the small? A crime of death, yes. It depends. So I would recommend this if you like graphic novels and if you like the story well enough that you want to see it told in a different way. I like the story well enough that while it's not necessarily the most gorgeous graphic novel I've ever seen, I really loved it. I thought it's the same story, different font, and if the story is good enough for me, I'm gonna get it. And that's how it is for me. I really do enjoy it. There are a couple of scenes that I really, really liked. Like, I really like this frame right here. I'm going to be a knight. There are a couple frames that really grabbed me and were worth it. And so I would say if you do like graphic novels, or if you have somebody in your life who doesn't like reading, I know there's some like younger kids, if they're not quite ready to read the books themselves, the graphic novel might be a good option for them. Let's see. Okay. Military. Spin-offs. Ooh, yes. Teaching self-defense. Exactly. Like, do you know what she does every night? She closes her shop. Oh, I loved it. Why she patrols. And Neil's response. Yes. There's a Alana one too. I know. I'm getting it. I can do TikTok shop things now. So if you do go to my profile, there's a showcase where you can find all of the books that are available in the TikTok shop. They don't have all of them, but they do have the graphic novels and then like this Alana one. So if you are looking for newer ones or the graphic novels, there is a place for that. Raoul of Golden Lake. I really love him as Kel's mentor. When she was a squire, there was top tier. I agree. Raoul, I'm so glad Raoul was the one that they chose to be the focus for Protector of the Small. I thought out of the whole group of John and Alana's friends, Raoul was the perfect choice for that. Like the Kel is the only one who doesn't look at him and immediately think handsome. Yes. But she does set him up with his future wife. So she sees him. To be loved is to be seen, right? And she does. I really like their dynamic because I think it's a good mixture of like brotherly, knightly, mentor. Heals some of her hurt, yeah. That was the most frustrating part for me was when Alana, the whole series, the Protector of the Small series starts out with Alana being told no. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't get to see her this whole time. And I can only imagine that Kel felt just a million times more than that. Yes, and the when she finds out, one of my favorite scenes in Protector of the Small is after the ordeal, and she and Alana finally have their moment together. It's one of my absolute favorites. And the duty part, that makes sense for like joining the military, and Kel was so very focused on duty. And I think her family really was too. And be part of time-honored tradition. And the uniform for sure. Description. Yeah, she had she does have definitely a crash out. Who wouldn't though? Who wouldn't? If your best friend was like, actually, I'm gonna go with your idol. And it makes sense though. It makes absolute sense. I thought the pairing worked out really well, and I don't think I would have liked to see more of Kel and Alana together, but it makes complete sense why they were kept apart. And so much of the series does focus on mental health. I think Kel's does a really good job about that. And I guess so does Dane's too, particularly when she thinks about losing herself in the earlier book. Yes. You were taken aback when Alana was disappointed about Kel being different. I thought Alana was upfront. I thought that those feelings were warranted, and I could see it from her perspective, particularly because she is Alana. And there, I think to a certain extent, she just expects things to go in a particular way. And she voices her opinion if it's different. Yeah, lots of self-reflection, a lot of healing. Yeah, it's one of their adult role models you love in particular because he's so upfront. Yes, but warm too. I agree with that. Raoul was perfect for Kel. Absolutely. The older brother. She has the siblings too, and I think it creates a really interesting dynamic. The parents were diplomats, and I think you see that play out so well. She thinks a lot about it, and it influences the way that she interacts with the world. Lots of siblings. You can have lots of siblings and still be... I think she's so singular, too. And one of your favorite quotes from Squire, dreams die so hard. Oh, yes. Yes. You know who I want to meet? Allie and Kel. I think that would be so interesting. That would be quite a dynamic of Allie and Kel. I love thinking about it. I would love if there are any fanfics or short stories out there with Allie and Kel. Yes, please. Yes, Rolo's a mountain of a man. Knight, he's a giant. He's a giant killer, right? And they do get each other. Great mentor-mentee moments. They're so good. Alana feels alone. Yeah, because of the magic. And Alana already had a really complicated relationship with her magic to begin with. I could even see her being slightly jealous of Kel. Not just for size, physique, but also for the magic piece, because she doesn't have that same sort of relationship. I think she knows she needs it, and she needed it in order to really survive, but to see Kel go through, she absolutely understands. Oh, we have a short story. Nice. AO3. We love AO3. Perfect. Kel would run as far away as she could from Allie. And the politicking. But the politicking, that would be awful. But I also think Kel has that diplomatic family side of things, so she kind of understands. But you do see her totally miss out on cues sometimes. She's very focused on her own. Called perfect. Gosh, this has been so much fun. Love them all. Okay, the stone faces, the Yumani stone face. And the manners, and it's in bad. It's like, what did she call it? Something about, like, it's almost as bad as, like, picking your nose at the dinner table or something. I am so happy to be hosting. I hope everyone enjoys the, like, content potpourri that will be happening. I am going to start just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall for a little bit about different kinds of book content, so I'll still do the deeper dive. I would love to do even deeper dives. I don't feel like I'm doing a deep dive at all on anything. I'm just doing some, like, fun rankings and talking about things I like. And I'm still going to keep doing that. But if you ever have a content idea, please send it my way. But just be prepared that for the next little while, I'm just going to be doing random things to see what we all enjoy. My philosophy is that I'm trying to make content that I would want to see on my own FYP. And so I hope that other people want to have it on their FYPs too. And so if there are things that you don't necessarily love, that's fine. We're going to be trying a whole bunch of stuff out. But I appreciate how active the community has been. And I really thank you all for it. And so let's see. I'm catching up on these social pressures. So many fanfics last week. Oh, I can't wait to dive deeper into the fanfics, but I want to finish Circle of Magic. Kel would not mind the social pressures of politicking. Yeah, with the spying, I agree. Okay, yeah. Jeremy, the whole YouTube 2-hour, that'll be, I want to do it so badly. I want to do it so badly. Brittany, you sent me an email. Awesome. I'm so excited to read it. I'm so excited to read it. Cal wanted to be in it. Yes. And I want more of those two together. I don't think she got to interact with him enough. Oh, book reports. So exciting for book club. Okay, so our next book club live, are we still good for Wednesdays at the same time? Does that work for now? I am going to jump over to the Discord and figure out how to set one of those up for myself, and I'm gonna find it on there. The Discord link is in the chat, as well as some fanfic in the chat as well. So next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, we're going to talk about Daja's book to start out with. It's going to be the first half. We're going to focus on Daja's book. A lot of people were very excited for this, and so I'm really excited for this. And then the second half will open it up to anything Tamora Pierce at all. I'll have a couple of ideas of different things that we could talk about, of course, for all of them. But please bring your questions, ideas, content controversies. Like, we don't all have to agree. It's fun with not. See us on the Discord Wednesdays. If Wednesday doesn't end up working for us long term, then we'll think about it. But let's do Wednesday, at least for next week. I'm so thankful so many of you are here. Set alarms. I'll try to post more. I'm learning, and I'm so appreciative of everyone's patience and encouragement with this. This has been so much fun. I want to do as much of this as I can, and so the more encouragement that I get from others would be great. Before we all go, my dog is at the door, so if you want to see a little doggo before we all go. This is my little Atlas. She's 13. She's my little old lady. Yes, my little puppy. This is the framed Atlas. Yes, I have a couple of paintings. She's very famous in my friend circle, and I have incredible friends who will draw and paint her all the time. So I have like a wall of her. So she's amazing. I'm so happy that she joined just for the last little bit. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I cannot wait for next week, and I cannot wait for the videos to keep coming out. Emmy, thank you. I'll see you all in the Discord. Have a wonderful night and a great week. I'll see you next week, all.